Today's show is sponsored by the No Bullshit merch store on Teespring. Support the show by buying one of our tasty new t-shirt designs. We've got the classic NoBS logo and the It's Okay to Be Right style, all available in shirts, sweaters, coffee mugs, and stickers at affordable prices. Do you want to look too cool for school? Order a NoBS shirt today on Teespring, link below. Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we continue covering the aftermath from the MAGA kids controversy. For those who don't know, the story started this past weekend when a group of high school students were attending a pro-life rally. They were promptly approached by a group of Native Americans banging drums, and also a group of older black men who were yelling profanities at them. But as we all know, it was actually the kids who ended up getting attacked by the media and every liberal and their mother on Twitter. Since then, the MAGA kids have been pretty much completely vindicated though. Many public figures have even started issuing apologies, but there are still a few crazies out there who continue to attack the kids, and there are others who are just simply deleting their erroneous posts and pretending they didn't happen. This brings us to today's story, because it's not just the media and public figures who are getting egg on their faces here. A number of politicians have also been exposed for coming down on the wrong side of this story. One in particular, who we're going over today, is Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota. I've been meaning to cover her for a while now too, and you'll see why. Omar is part of the new class of freshman representatives who helped the Democrats win over the House in our last midterm elections in November. Her and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are also good buddies too, already, and both also have a lot in common as well. Omar is also very far left, just like AOC, and she also tends to say a lot of dumb shit online too, just like her. And let's not forget, Omar is also a brown woman too, which really helps with the race-obsessed left-wingers. Not to mention she's also a Muslim, who loves wearing scarves on her head at all times. Not very cute. Regardless, let's get into the issue at hand, shall we? Ilhan Omar was one of many who jumped on the hate bandwagon when the MAGA kids story broke a few days ago. Since then, she has deleted a number of her tweets that were blaming the boys and sending more hate and harassment their way, even though the truth had already come out too. For more details, let's turn to an article about this from thehill.com called Omar Deletes Tweets on Covington Students Trump. Check this out. Representative Ilhan Omar, Democrat Minnesota, deleted a tweet on Wednesday that had pushed back against President Trump's defense of the mostly white students of a Kentucky high school engaged in a confrontation with Native American advocate and tribal elder Nathan Phillips. In her tweet, Omar wrote that the male students were protesting a woman's right to choose and yelled, "It's not rape if you enjoy it," and taunting 5 black men before they surrounded Phillips and led racist chants. The students from Covington Catholic High School were in Washington, D.C. to take part in the annual March for Life. A spokesman for Omar didn't immediately return a request for comment to explain why the tweet was removed. And that's really one of the worst parts of all this. Omar jumped the gun and attacked those kids, and she continued to even after they were proven not guilty. And then instead of making an apology or some kind of correction here, Omar just deletes the tweets without any explanation. We can assume she knew she was wrong. Something had to make her change her mind here, but we just don't know for sure. She might still believe those MAGA kids are terrible, even though they did nothing wrong. Here's the original tweet in question, and I have to say, this is pretty messed up. We have a newly elected government official spreading fake news and lies about teenagers. This is the kind of fuel that has led to a huge dumpster fire in Covington too, where the MAGA kids come from in Kentucky. Not only did their school have to shut down there because of all the threats, but also they are still having meetings and working out a way to get the kids safely back to school. And they're trying to find a way to put this town back in working order. But wait, this Omar story gets even better from here. After she deleted that initial tweet, others started to promptly call her out for it. One such person happened to be Caleb Hull on Twitter, who not only got the story right while calling out Omar for lying, but also Caleb even triggered her enough that she retweeted and replied to him, a tweet which she also ended up deleting, ironically enough. Jesus Christ, these liberals delete more tweets than I've ever posted altogether. Really reminds me of Hillary Clinton's style too. She was always deleting emails and files and stuff as well. Democratic women are so shady, aren't they? But anyway, let's look at the next tweets. First, Caleb calls out Omar's initial tweet. Here he proves that the person who said this horrible quote was in fact not with the Covington MAGA kids at all. Ouch. That was pretty much the biggest attack she had against them too, and it was a lie. Or you could say she was horribly wrong here. Either way, it's a really bad look. Then when Omar deleted her tweet, Caleb promptly reposted an archive of it. Well done. But here's where things get more interesting. Next, Ilhan Omar retweets Caleb's archive of her tweet, and now she attacks him for spreading her misinformation. What an absolutely ridiculous thing to say. Caleb isn't spreading misinformation though, you dunce. He's reposting a tweet of you spreading misinformation. He's calling you out, Omar, and he really should. And quite frankly, I think Caleb's doing God's work, if you ask me. Caleb even had a good analogy for this ridiculous self-own by Omar. Omar, saying he's spreading misinformation by sharing her tweet, which was misinformation. Well, this argument is equivalent to saying that if a cop pulls you over for speeding, he should get in trouble too because he had to speed to catch up with you. Only an idiot who got caught in a lie would be so desperate to come up with something like this. But I guess in 2019, current year, any dumb minority woman can win an election, if they're running in a Democratic area, of course. And this really has to be one of the greatest meltdowns I've seen this week. Damn, Ilhan Omar, you really blew it on this one. She's been in office for like 2 weeks too, and she's already screwing things up royally. Sucks because liberals like her and AOC, they will never see it this way. They're too dumb to know when they're screwing up like this. But fortunately, I do know, and I'll always be here to call them out. But there's still a bit more to this Omar story today. You see, attacking the MAGA kids for doing nothing and then misquoting them is only the beginning. Ilhan also defended people who were basically indefensible. An adjacent part of this story was involving the Black Hebrew Israelites. They were at this March for Life rally too, and Omar claimed the MAGA kids were harassing them when really it was the other way around. The Black Israelites said some of the most vulgar, terrible, out of this world insults you could think of. But instead of going after them for it, Omar was trying to defend them. And no, it's not the cool Omar from The Wire. Ilhan Omar really ruins that name now, doesn't she? Anyway, let's go ahead and turn back to that article and get more info on this part of the story. Omar's assertion that the students were taunting 5 black men is also in dispute. Video showed members of the Black Hebrew Israelites shouting homophobic and racist slurs at the boys. Black Hebrew Israelites believe they are descendants of the ancient Israelites. Some groups affiliated with the movement have been described as hate groups by the Southern Poverty Law Center, something GOP critics of Omar pounced upon. Representative Omar is an embarrassment to Minnesota, and it's time for the rest of the Minnesota delegation to denounce her anti-Semitic views and support of hate groups. NRCC spokeswoman Carly Atchison said in a statement, "The Covington students have denied that they were mocking Phillips." Yep, not only was Omar defending black Israelites, which is basically some kind of hate-filled conspiracy theorist pro-black group, well, not only did Representative Omar defend these terrible people, but also, as this article says, Omar is very anti-Semitic. She hates Jews, which makes sense. She is a Muslim whose people have been anti-Semitic for hundreds of years. They've been warring in the deserts with them for ages. It's the second time in recent days that Omar has come under fire for social media postings. On Tuesday, Omar backtracked from a 2012 tweet amid the Israeli conflict with Hamas in Gaza, in which she wrote, "Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. Hashtag Gaza, hashtag Palestine, hashtag Israel." Gotta get those hashtags in there when you're hating on the Jews. Omar said that she had previously tried to defend her tweet by putting it in context, rather than acknowledging why it may have been offensive to Jewish people. "It's now apparent to me that I spent lots of energy putting my 2012 tweet in context, and little energy is disavowing the anti-Semitic trope I unknowingly used, which is unfortunate and offensive," Omar wrote in a series of tweets. Unknowingly, my ass. She really trying to pretend she was accidentally racist against Jews? What she said is clearly a reference to the stereotype that Jewish people control the media, and that they're manipulating the public while they do it. Saying Jews hypnotize the world is equivalent to saying Muslims are all terrorists, something which we all know Ilhan Omar would not be cool with saying. Rules for me are different than rules for thee, I suppose, at least according to the radical leftists and social justice warriors. And now, before we go, let's not underestimate how bad spreading misinformation like this has become. Ilhan Omar was spreading lies about the MAGA kids days after this liberal narrative was debunked, with video evidence. And regardless of the truth being out there, those boys are now in a very scary spot. They've been endangered by fake news spreading leftists. And like I said before, their school has also been forced to shut down. And also, some breaking news for today has shown that things have only gotten worse in Covington. This article from the Gateway Pundit details a shocking new development there. The Covington boys were not only forced to hire a lawyer to defend them from all the lies and slander, but also their lawyer was promptly threatened too. He received a bomb threat after he gave celebs and journalists a 48-hour notice to retract their statements or face lawsuits. The FBI even had to get involved here. Pretty serious stuff. And this is really what the world has become now, huh? Leftists have become so unhinged and radical that they're threatening to blow up lawyers. Lawyers who are protecting teenagers from lies and danger. And this all comes back to one thing, of course. A lot of people out there have Trump derangement syndrome. It's going around bad. The liberals are so convinced that Orange Man is bad that they will drop all manners, decency, and even break the law, so long as they can attack people who don't agree with them. It's sad to see the Democrats become so radicalized like this, but this is what they wanted. They've done this to themselves. They voted in some of the biggest idiots ever too, like Ilhan Omar from today's story, and of course, our least favorite, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. A new era for the left has begun, and it's not looking too good for them in the beginning. Fortunately for us, as long as we keep our heads on straight and keep things honest and civil out there, President Trump Trump and conservatives like us, we will easily keep winning in the future if this is the best our competition can do. What do you guys think? Is Representative Ilhan Omar almost as dumb as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Was she knowingly lying when she spread misinformation about the MAGA kids because they were wearing Make America Great Again hats? And is this an appropriate way for a government official to act? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.